I don't want to go anymore. Okay, I'm going to say something first. We took a show of hands earlier who was in speech. But I know there's got to be a few more people in here who have actually seen a speech. How many people in speech and seen an actual speech piece done? Raise your hand. That's a pretty good number. Okay, well, when Josh shanghaied me into doing this thing, we actually prepared and wrote a script, and this is, I think we're more prepared now than we ever were. Yeah, we're going to go like 3 minutes over. This is, time signals, all that, I don't even remember. Probably. But this little piece is actually in the vein of a speech piece type situation. There's not really characters, but you can tell we practiced this. It's ridiculous. So with that in mind, we put this together tonight because we really wanted to jump at the chance to tell you the real effect that Mrs. T had on our lives.
Even though she was only our teacher for 4 years, the effects of her teaching are still felt today.
I still plan on sending her my therapy bills.
On that note, we humbly present to you all, look what you've done to us.
Now, I think the best place to start would be at the beginning, back when Josh and I arrived here at Valley in the year 2000.
We both came in as wide-eyed, innocent little freshmen.
Josh was more wide-eyed.
And Richard was less innocent.
But the point is, we were still wondering what our roles would be and where we would best fit in the social scheme of things.
That's when we both decided to take a drama class.
Now that is where Mrs. T comes in. She had this team building game the very first freshman year of drama. It was a team building game called Where's the Bomb? Do you remember that? Okay.
The objective of this game was to find clues about where the bomb was and how to defuse it.
Now, but if anybody in the room made any noise, BAM! Dead! I always found it a little twisted that you paraded around your room like fake killing your students.
I loved it.
Now, also that year, we auditioned for the first show of our high school careers, which was, I am now learning, was, I guess, a second version of 18 Nervous Gumshoes. And that was a comedic murder mystery where the audience was served dessert. It was kind of like a setting like this, and they were served dessert by waiters.
I don't know if you're sensing a theme here, but the bomb game and murder mystery, we're pretty sure our lives were going to be in danger.
Now, in 18 Nervous Gumshoes, we were both freshmen, and we both played waiters, which basically meant we weren't in the actual cast, but they needed people to serve the audience desserts. So they put all the people who didn't get into the show as waiters. We knew the whole time.
Let me be the maitre d' though.
Yeah, you were like the king of people who didn't get into the play.
Be that as it may, it was still our first show with Mrs. T that she let us be a part of.
But now, my favorite part, this is all great fun now, but my favorite part is when Mr. and Mrs. T actually both came to Josh, myself, and Charlie Anderson and asked us to put together a type of intermission dance sequence type show set to Mac the Knife.
And we were all really excited because that meant we could actually be on the stage. And so we went, worked, and decided to have two of us do a little song and dance routine while the other person tries to kill us.
And we thought it was awesome, and then we showed it.
After weeks of planning and choreography.
That's not true.
What could have been the best thing ever to grace Valley
is also false.
So Mrs. T looked at Mr. T, and he looked at us, and she said, "Yeah, I think I'll pass."
That part's true. 100% true.
So next up was sophomore year, and this was the year of Scapino, and when I first joined speech.
One thing Mrs. T was very adamant about was that she demanded the very best from her students. And oftentimes that meant pushing us out of our comfort zones and into our discomfort zones.
Whether it was making me climb up a ladder when I'm afraid of heights.
Make a bigger dude climb up a taller ladder onto the second story set, and then have that ladder slowly slide to the ground, and they think I'm going to die. But see, the reason we didn't complain is because we thought her favorite verse was 2 Kings 2, 23 and 24.
Which reads, "From there Elisha went up to Bethel, and as he was walking along the road, some youths came out to the town and jeered at him. 'Go on up, you bald head,' they said. 'Go on up, you bald head.' So he turned around, looked at them, and called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the youths.
So essentially, we were under the assumption that if we messed with Mrs. T, she would ask God to call down bears to beat us.
Is that why you took us up north for all those tournaments?
Now, junior year now, that was the year when Mrs. T really started to challenge us. That was the year of speak for yourself.
In this show we learned that Mrs. T was never afraid to push conventions or cast against type.
And she proved this when it was announced that Josh would be cast as a football player and myself as a Keanu Reeves lookalike. I look like I ate Keanu Reeves.
Now, one thing about having Mrs. T as a director, anyone who's been a part of her shows knows that you can always tell how bad you were by how many pages
Sometimes that little thing was more detrimental than it was helpful.
For example, she'll be reading the notes and say, okay, Richard enunciate, Doty slow down, and bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Okay, I don't know what that means, but if that applies to any of you, then make that better. If that doesn't make any sense to anyone, then I guess I just like, moving on.
Now, you know what you should do? You should get a little yellow pad, surgically implanted right on your hand here, and that way you'll never lose it. And then they have little belts installed that will identify the words that you don't even remember. And then when you get to it, it'll go off and you'll remember exactly what that means.
That sounds like a great idea, except we aren't really compatible with technology, so...